Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Tick, Season 1, Episode 5. It's called Fear of Flying. Full spoilers for the episode as always. I'm still really liking this show. Like, I'm actually really depressed that there's only one more left, because if anything, it's been improving as we've been going.
Yeah, I think this might be the strongest episode.
Yeah, it's getting tighter, it's getting... There were several moments in this that was really cracking me up. Obviously a lot of them were the Tick himself, but just like early on when he gets the phone, like because Arthur phones Dot because she has obviously a phone, and the Tick doesn't have pockets, so obviously he's got no phone. So
These
she's
pouches.
he's like, "This is for you." And he just takes it in his hands like this, and he's like, "Oh, thanks." He just stands there. "No, you idiot! Someone's on the phone for you." And he's talking to Arthur over the phone, and a great callback to the last episode. One of the jokes from last episode that I really liked was, the Tick couldn't recognise Miss Lint, like, whatever name she was using as an alias. Yeah. He couldn't recognise her. He's like, "No, Miss Lint gave me the suit back." "That electric vixen? Where was she?"
Where'd you see her?
Yeah. That really cracked me up. And then, possibly my favourite thing of that whole phone call is Arthur at the end says, "Right, come and get me, I'm flying, I don't know how to control this thing, blah 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 blah." It's like, "And don't tell Dot anything." And then Tick, out loud, "Don't tell Sister anything, affirmative." And right behind him, you can just see, because she's listening to the entire conversation, she just rolls her eyes and is like, "Oh," like, just behind, you can just see her behind him. It's great.
It follows up like so strongly, because she's like, "Go, or I'm coming with you," and he's like, "Well, he didn't say anything about that."
Or even before that, when she asked the questions, like, "That's a lot of questions that Arthur doesn't want me to answer." It's just so blunt. Oh, it's so good.
Or just on the same thread when they're in the car and he's on the phone, and Dot's there, and he realizes that, and he says, "Don't worry, she's still in the dark."
Everything with Arthur and Dot this episode was actually gold. And not just in terms of comedy. I actually thought it got kind of good in a dramatic sense at one point. It actually, I think for his kind of like, at face value, silly this show looks. You've got the big stupid blue costume, you've got this action. The effects are actually pretty decent, but at times they get away with it being a bit more cartoony looking because of the tone of the show. But there's still a lot of money there, I think. It still feels like there's a fair bit of effort that goes into these things. The flying, well, yeah, it looked a bit stiff. It didn't look, it still looked good for the most part.
That's it. Like, stiff is a fair complaint,
Yeah.
but it didn't look bad.
But once they're in the field and all the action's going off, like, most of it was fun. Like, it may not be big budget movie levels of visceral excitement, but everything felt like it had a good pace and like sort of beat to it. And just a simple little moment like when Overkill throws the machete at the guy and the camera follows the machete and then like the Tick grabs it. Like, it's a really fun little moment.
It's good.
The action actually is pretty good. Like, it feels like this show has more of a budget than I think anyone would assume that the Tick would get.
Yeah, even when you just look at it and you're just watching it, you don't really think it screams budget until it hits these moments. So
that's it.
There's something to it.
It typically looks very nice. It was just one of these things like, obviously we're used to HD as a thing, right? We're used to 1080p. I mean 4K. I mean 4K is a thing now, right? But so very rarely do I look at something now. I'm so used to 1080p that I don't really think of it. That's just what the standard should be now. Like, no one should even be thinking about anything less unless you're watching like an old sitcom or something. In which case, fair enough, that's all that exists. But like, so I don't really anymore. Like, back when I was first getting Blu-rays, back in like 2008, I want to say, I was like really dipping my toes into that sort of well, and I was like, oh, every time I put one in, I was like, oh, this looks so good. Look at all the detail. See when the terror's on screen, it's like the chainmail that he's got on, like on his costume. Like, it's really detailed to the point I'm like, man, this looks really good.
Every time I look at his face, it's like, it's really, really in depth.
Yeah, it's just really good. Maybe it's a high contrast. Like maybe the color scheme they're going with is just really accenting all the detail in his.
I wonder if it's also because the Tick suit is quite simplistic. It's very plain. There's not a lot of detail to it. I mean, it looks good. It stands out. It's bright, but there's not a lot of detail.
No, it's very.
Whereas the Terror is the opposite. It's all these tiny details that stand out a lot compared to the Tick being very sleek.
Yeah, it looks good. Visually, it's actually quite a nice show, despite the fact that, I mean, it's going for big, bold, and colourful, but it still doesn't just feel like a sitcom. It feels like, no, it's got a shooting style to it. It has a
Yeah,
look and
definitely.
has all these things. Obviously, Superior's fighting the giant naked man. In fact, the newscaster had a very funny line that I thought was quite good about Superior is trying to get his attention, and we're not sure how it's going, but it certainly aroused his suspicion. And I'm like, very good, you made a penis joke. Yeah, he's begging, he's naked. Yeah.
I think that's obligatory for newscasters to have just, like a stack of
Puns
innuendos
and
ready to
yeah.
go.
Nah, I can appreciate that. So yeah, so a lot of this episode is Arthur. The first half of it's Arthur's like flying uncontrollably. He can't control the suit, so he's phoning the Tick for help. Tick and Dot are riding in her car. Tick's occasionally sticking his head out the sunroof, and they're trying to like track him down, find him, help him land. They're talking to him on the phone the entire time. As for a lot of fun, a lot of flying around. There was a lot of good cuts between things where like the cut itself would make the thing funnier because it would cut to the Tick saying something silly or something like that, or it would cut to him and he's like, "Oh, we're in pursuit," and there was even a little poignant little bit of messaging in there mid-ride where Dot's like overreacting and she's like, "Oh, but like this is he shouldn't be doing this. This is crazy and all this." And like you just gave him the suit. It's like, no, Destiny gave him the suit. I merely acted in a delivery man capacity. But he starts talking about how maybe Arthur isn't normal. Maybe he's awesome. Maybe he's there to spread his wings. Maybe he has a purpose. Maybe you're awesome. And that line got me thinking. I'm like, oh, I wonder if her arc is not only she'll accept Arthur as his own person, and he needs to do these things that, maybe by the end of the show she'll have her own little kind of, maybe she won't have a costume and she won't go and be a superhero, but maybe she'll also kind of find her purpose.
Well, she'll be their medic, the superhero medic.
Sure, yeah, she'll be the night nurse or
exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. So very good, but yeah, like I was saying, it gets really dramatic. So we have the big action scene. Ramsey's men show up, and we have some fun banter. But we have the big action scene. Arthur gets shot. Good little moments. Like he dives for his sister when the gunfire goes off. That's his first instincts to protect her. It's a really good little moment. Same when she first shows up and she goes up, like taking Overkill are about to square off. They're ready to fight. It's about to go down, and she just walks right through them. Like, I didn't give a shit, and she just goes straight to Arthur and punches him. He's like, "You're lying to me, you little shit. What are you doing?"
I love it that they goes about to Overkill. And he's like, "Excuse me, we're trying to have a fight here."
Trying to have a fight.
And Tick's like, I think I see some space over there. Do you want to go fight over there? Like,
Moments passed.
Moments passed.
Moments passed.
Whatever.
Oh, speaking of Overkill, I just remembered. Earlier on, he's eating some dinner out the can, and he's watching. Now, this was actually a reference to a joke in the last episode, which we didn't mention. We glossed over this, but Walter got one of his gifts for his birthday was this book, and they just casually mentioned it was written by a dog, right? And it was just like, oh, haha, written by a dog. But no, there's more to it. The dog is a celebrity. He talks, and he was one of this team of 5 heroes that mostly died.
The other 4 died. He was the only survivor.
And he's on TV. He's been interviewed, and he's like a philosopher now, and he's talking about his book, and it's just, and Overkill doesn't like him. He thinks he's a pretentious douche. It's just, the whole
killed
thing.
me when he got to the end. It's like, where he's like, all these things I've seen, I don't believe in God anymore. I can only believe in dog.
It's these small touches, and I think that's why it's impressive that when Dot shows up and she's angry at Arthur for not telling the truth because she's concerned about him. This is the amazing thing, is at the end of this scene, the Tick kind of doesn't want to work with Overkill because Overkill's going about killing people, but Arthur's like, no, he wants to do the same goals, he wants to help, he needs me because I actually figured out the terror's alive, and we see that in Ramsey's eyes. Even Dot's convinced, like she sees Ramsey's reaction to, oh, you work for the terror, he's alive, and she knows, oh, you're not actually crazy, he is alive, he does exist, like, this is a thing. But at the end of this, they kind of make this deal, okay, they're going to go off, and they've got Ramsey, they're going to interrogate him, presumably next episode. But Dot says to Arthur, no, don't go. Like, I'm not, and I like that she's not, because it doesn't sound like she's making a command. She's not trying to control him. It sounds more like
request.
It sounds more like a beg. It's like she's begging, and that's what I like about it. Is it goes on, because she could almost come off as unlikable, because she could almost sound like she is trying to be controlling. She doesn't want him to do the thing. It could almost be the Skylar White,
right? Where
thing
even though he's doing the bad thing, this is getting in the way. Of what we want to see.
But it works so well here because A, she's already likable, right? But B, because it then goes to why she doesn't want him getting involved in this stuff. It's not just because she thinks it's crazy. It's because and it's kind of insane we kind of forgot about this, but she also lost her father in this whole thing. I mean, she wasn't there, in witness to like he was, but she also lost her father, and she has a fear of losing the people she cares about, including Arthur. She's scared of losing him because if he goes down this
Presumably
path,
why she's becoming a doctor.
yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe that, maybe not consciously, but yeah, that might be the sort of the inside thinking that's led to, I want to fix people, I want to be able to help with these things.
Yeah, to save them, stop them dying.
Yeah, she's going to be a hero in her own way. That's kind of her
Yeah.
good thing. So, but I thought this scene was actually quite effective. I'm like, you know what? For as silly as this show is at face value, we talked about this I think in episode 2, how there is actually an arc. There's a clear message. There's like a moral to what's going on, and that's great. There's themes. It's humor with a purpose behind it. But here I think it really excelled in the sense that it showed that it can do a dramatic moment where I care about these characters. And it's not, because I think a big thing with comedies, even good comedies, you don't necessarily always really care about what's going on or care about the characters. You're just there for the laughs and what happens. And the show would be fun if it was just that, and that'd be okay. But here, like, no, I actually care about the plot, and I care that she's concerned about him, and this is a proper dramatic scene, and I care about both parties, understand where they're both coming from, and I sympathise with her, even though I do want him to go and be a hero and do the fun action stuff.
Yeah, the flying bulletproof stuff. That's cool.
Of course it's cool. Why wouldn't it be cool?
Do you know what else is cool? Danger boat.
Yeah, there's some danger boat in this. Tick is amused that Overkill's arguing with his boat. To which they point out he's not the boat, he's the AI, but obviously he can't really leave the boat, so he's still in the boat. They live together. They're roommates.
Yeah, he's not my boat, he's my roommate.
And he's because Overkill's like criticising him, like, you're translating the stuff in the helmet.
I actually really like how that harkens back to the interview with the dog, where he's like, no, he wasn't my master. He was my teammate. He was, we were equals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But obviously, Overkill just thought it was pretentious. But he kind of has the exact same relationship.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, it's Danger Boat that says that. Overkill might still think of him as his boat.
He might, yeah.
Again, just because the dog thought he was equal didn't mean the person did as well.
Danger Boat is the dog.
Yeah, okay. They've got their wacky, weird, non-human sidekick.
Look at that. We're really showing how deep this show is.
Hey, actually, this is a point here. We now have Tick, Arthur, whatever he's going to be called. Ramses calls him Mothboy. I'm fairly certain that's not going to stick. But we got Overkill, and then we get the boat. That's 4. We need a 5th, because the team was 5 that took on Terror before. I'm just thinking maybe that'll parallel.
Miss Lint.
It could be Miss Lint. Yeah, she could make a face turn. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it going good.
Yeah, that's what face turn means.
No, I'm just agreeing.
Just for the record, just in case anyone doesn't know what face turn means, it's a wrestling term. It means good bad guy turns good is what it is. So speaking of Miss Lint, she's sneaking out at the start, covered in lint, of course, which Dot sees and is confused by, because a minute ago she thought that was, this is like the potential girlfriend that Arthur's seeing. But she'll go home, and Derek's still a bit of a dick. To the point where she's almost about to fry him for making jokes about the lint.
He's such a knob.
And then at the end of the episode, we come back to her, and she's obviously been for a shower, as one would, but she's drying her hair, and her hair's getting all static, kind of like, no wonder she attracts all this lint. This is what it is all about. But we have a cliffhanger where she walks back into the other room, and the Terror is just sitting there. And he knows it's funny that he's just sitting there, because he's like, yeah, it's me! Huh? And he gives it this. I can't even do an impression of the laugh he gives, but it's this little.
It is, isn't it?
This knowing laugh.
It's like, hey, I'm still here.
I know it's been like 15 years or whatever, but hey, ta-da!
Gotcha.
Actually, that'd have been funnier if she just walked out. They just stared at each other blankly for about 10 seconds. They just went, ta-da!
Just surprise.
Oh dear. So that was one of the things we weren't sure if we were going to get to in these first 6 episodes, but sure enough, it almost feels like 6 is kind of a mini finale, almost. In the way you always reveal something big getting into the last one.
Right. It's just if it feels like that in the episode itself.
Oh sure, yeah, it may not, but it certainly we're going to interrogate Ramses to find out a bit more of what this was it Project Achilles is where this suit comes from that Arthur's got, and Terror's involved in developing this Project Achilles, and that's why he wants the suit. So. Yeah, so we'll get that, but just going from the thumbnail on Amazon, it looks like there's a big fight in the next one. It looks like he's in public protecting people.
Cool. Could do with
So
another cool action sequence.
yeah,
Overkill chucking some knives at dudes.
it's funny. Like obviously, I didn't come into this show expecting good action, but honestly, there's not been a single one where I've not left with a smile on my face going, "That was good."
Yeah,
They've all been entertaining.
they have.
Simple
And they've
little.
all been different as well.
Yeah, oh, they have. Yeah, because the first one was just a tech like walking through the warehouse, punching guys in the head, and then we had cars being flipped. We've had Arthur being like punched across the desk into a chair, and all these other things going on. But yeah, obviously this was the biggest one. Probably was this field fight.
Yeah.
That this.
Yeah, we had some exploding cars, knives being thrown.
Yeah. You had good team and bad team. It was basically the airport scene from Civil War,
Pretty much.
but not contrived.
I'm going, but maybe better.
No, people are going to doubt your opinion if you say it's better.
We've just gone too far.
We'll cross the line there. I mean, I don't think. But obviously, Civil War has a much bigger things going on and bigger budgets and all sorts of crazy shenanigans. But like on the budget though,
Yeah, I think it utilizes budget better in terms of what you assume this is. Costs a lot less.
well, no, I wouldn't say it utilizes budget better. I think Civil War probably. I mean, I imagine the majority of the Civil War budget went into that sequence,
Right.
but I wouldn't be that it uses budgets better. It's just that for the scale, like the action on this to scale to budget, this was equally just as fun compared to its budget as that was to its budget.
Yes.
Like they achieved the same sort of desired effects, largely.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
I had to follow that through. That got convoluted.
To an extent, people know what I'm saying. I think.
Stop adding all these caveats into it.
The point is, for the budget, they put on a pretty good little action sequence.
Basically, we enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
Well, in layman's terms,
Well, I feel like it needed layman's terms after all that waffle.
waffles are great.
I'm not arguing.
Don't knock waffling. Waffling around is a fantastic pastime. That has been episode 5 of the Tick. Oh, you had something else to say. I'm sorry, I went into my outro and I didn't let you make your stupid final
fine.
point. No, make your stupid final point. It's clearly very important. So I'm giving you the floor.
No, it was fine. I was just asking if you were finished waffling and you'd had enough, but clearly you have.
That wasn't worth going back for. I
It
apologize.
wasn't, no. That's why I wasn't going to go back. I was like, let you just carry on.
Well, that's episode 5 of the Tick. See, now my outro's lost steam because I've been cut off and now I have to forcibly start it again. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave comments below telling us what you think of the episode and the action scene and Overkill and the Tick and Arthur, the Moth Boy.
Danger Boat.
Ninja Boat. No, Danger Boat. Ninja Boat. Oh, Ninja Boat would be good though.
But how dare you insult Danger Boat by getting his name wrong?
Do you know, every time I hear his name though, all I can think of is the song Danger Zone.
Oh, man. I can see you. Okay, you don't watch Archer, but that song is a big part of that show, and I can see Danger Boat fitting into Archer so well.
And here's me just associating it with Top Gun. But
but it's moved beyond that now.
oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV and you can do that over there, but otherwise that's it. We have one last episode of the Tick. It will be tomorrow. We will do it, hooker by crook, so thank you very much for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla? Chum.